For number 7, we're using the formula for the amount in the bank, and we're given these numbers and trying to solve for t, which is the time in years. So plug everything in. The amount in the bank is given here, principal times, in parentheses, 1 plus the interest rate was 18%, and our time's unknown. So distribute on this side, and you'll get 690. And then when you do 690 times this part, you get 124.2 t. Subtract 690 from both sides, and then finally divide both sides by 124.2, and you'll get that the time in years is 5 years. And just to tie this back into the simple interest formula, notice what you get when you distribute the principal through the parentheses. The amount in the bank is equal to the principal plus the principal times the rate times the time, which was the formula that equals the interest earned. So the amount in the bank is the principal plus the interest earned. For number 8, we're looking at another amount problem, so we'll use the formula that we used in number 7. The scenario here is we borrowed money and we have a total amount owed and our initial principal that we borrowed. So plug everything into the formula, the total amount owed, the principal we originally borrowed, the interest rate's unknown, and the money has been borrowed for half a year, 0.5 of a year, 6 months. And so distribute through, and you'll get this. Subtract 4,400 from both sides, you'll get to here, and divide both sides by 2,200, and you'll get the interest rate is 3%, 0.03. For number 9, we are doing compound interest, and you can click the Help Me Solve This button to be reminded of the compound interest formula and what all the different letter variables stand for. So you're given the values for P, I, and N. Plug them in. We're solving for the amount. We know the principal. We know I. We know N. Solve this part first, the parentheses raised to the exponent. You'll get this value. And now the amount equals these two numbers multiplied together, and here's what you get. For number 10, compound interest, we're given some values. So plug them in. We have the value for A, I, and N. We're going to be solving for P. Solve the parentheses raised to the exponent first. You'll get this. So now we're down to here. Divide both sides by this value, and you'll get what P is equal to. For number 11, compound interest, we're trying to find I, which is the interest rate every time we compound. So we have the annual interest rate, the interest rate for the year of 7%, but we're going to be compounding 12 times throughout the year because we compound monthly. So take the annual interest rate and divide by how many times you're compounding, and you'll get your value here for this problem, and as a percent we have 0.583. For number 12, compound interest, we're told the interest rate for each time we compound, which we're compounding per quarter, and we're trying to find the interest rate for the year. So here's the interest rate as a decimal each time we compound. We don't know the interest rate for the year, and compounding quarterly is 4 times a year. So multiply both sides by 4 and you'll get what R is. As a percentage, that's 3%. For number 13, looking at compound interest, we're told all these details. We're trying to find the amount in the bank after 7 years. Start by figuring out what the interest rate is going to be per compounding period. So you take the annual rate and divide by how many times per year interest is compounded. So here we have 6%. Monthly means 12 times a year. So here's what I is. And N, you need the total number of times interest is compounded. So 7 years, and monthly is 12 times a year, so N is 84. Plug our values in to the formula now. We're told our principal, we solved for I and N. Solve the part in parentheses raised to the exponent first, and now your amount is going to be these two numbers multiplied together, which gives you this. For number 14, we're dealing with compound interest. We're given all the information here. So first we need to find the interest rate per compounding period. So we have the annual rate divided by how many times per year interest is compounded. And so we had 5.8%, and quarterly is 4 times a year, so here's the value for I. And then N, the total number of times interest is compounded. We have 18 years, and again, quarterly is 4 times a year, so that's 72 times total. So plug those values in here for I and N, and the original principal was $8,000. Solve the part in parentheses, raise to the exponent first, and now you have these two numbers multiplied together to give you the total amount.